Let's look at classifying angles. We're going to look at acute angles, right angles, and obtuse angles. Let's check it out. Now, before we talk about those individual angles, let's look at the definition of an angle. An angle is formed by two rays that have the same vertex. And if you notice in the picture below, those things are labeled. You have your rays, and they have the same vertex or endpoint there in the corner, and then they stretch out and go in one direction, because the definition of a ray is it has an endpoint and it goes on and on and on in one direction. Another important part when we are classifying angles is talking about the measurement of those angles. Now, when we are talking about the measurement of angles, that is the opening of an angle, and that's measured in degrees. And we use those measurements to classify our angles. Our first angle that we're going to look at is a right angle. Now, it measures exactly 90 degrees, and if we were to use a protractor and measure it, that's what it would measure. Now, it also makes a square corner in the corner, and you can see that little square corner there near the vertex. And that, you'll see that sometimes when they draw a right angle, and that signifies that that is a right angle and it measures 90 degrees. And if you look at that right angle, it resembles the uppercase letter L. It goes straight up vertically and straight across horizontally. And our second angle that we're looking at is an acute angle. Now, it measures less than 90 degrees. So that would be anything, if you were measuring with a protractor, anything that would be between 1 and 89 degrees. And you can see an example of an acute angle there, and that one specifically measures 62 degrees. So that's less than 90 degrees, so you know it's an acute angle. So any acute angle, the opening is going to be smaller than a right angle because it measures less than that. One thing you can remember with an acute angle, notice the word acute. If you take the A off, it says cute, C-U-T-E. Think of little things like babies and puppies and kittens. Little things are cute. So acute angles are little small angles, and they are known as really cute angles. So those are your acute angles. Next, we have obtuse angles. They measure more than 90 degrees. So that will be anywhere between 91 and 180 degrees. So if you have a right angle and compare it to an obtuse angle, the obtuse angle's opening is going to be larger than a right angle. And one thing you could do here is use the corner of a piece of paper, slide it in there, line it up on that bottom line that's going horizontally, put the corner right there in the vertex, right there at that little point, and see if its opening is larger than the right angle of that sheet of paper. Sometimes obtuse angles, especially if they're like 91, 95 degrees, they can look like right angles, and sometimes we might need a little helping hand, and the corner of that notebook paper will do just the trick. Now, I didn't mention this angle at the beginning. I'm throwing this in right here at the end because sometimes you might see this come up, and it is an angle that measures exactly 180 degrees. So it makes a horizontal line. So it makes a straight line. And that's why we call it a straight angle. And if you measured with a protractor, you can see you could go from one side of that line all the way around to the other, and it would equal 180 degrees. So just throwing that in there in case you happen to see that.
Let's make an angle finder. Now, to make that angle finder, you need 2 straws and 2 paper clips. You're going to take the paper clips and you're going to link them together like so. Then you're going to take one end of your linked paper clips and stick it into one end of the straw. Then you'll take the other straw and slide it over the other paper clip. Now they're linked together, so they're kind of hinged, and this would be your vertex, your corner. So you're going to take your angle finder and you can practice making angles. So you can make a right angle, or you can close it less than a 90-degree angle and make an acute angle, or you can widen it out to greater than a 90-degree angle for your obtuse angle. And of course, you could always straighten it out to make your straight angle. So there's something to work with and practice making those angles.
Thanks for watching. See you next time. And don't forget to click that like and subscribe button for new content.